We're doing it like Russ, or can we put our own little spin on it?
Do it the way that you want to do it, just as if you were making a call to a prospect. So, you got a lead in front of you and you're making the call, and Skip's your prospect.
Okay. Sure.
Cool. It's kind of hard to hear you too. I don't know if it's the volume or the mic.
Let me see. Let me see if I can put my earpiece on.
Okay.
Yeah, let me connect my earpiece real quick. EarPod connect. Okay. Can you hear me better?
Yep. Sound good.
A little better? Perfect. Okay. All right then. Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Skip?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Skip. It's Lesli Fernandez with Veteran Home Services. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. I was actually calling because I noticed you looked up a home on my website, and I just wanted to know what you're looking for. So, Skip, what are you looking for?
Well, I was just bored and looking around. Lots more time to do stuff these days than otherwise.
Okay. So you were just looking?
Yeah, I'm not really interested in purchasing. We have a home now, and I'm just not ready to move, I don't think.
Got it. Okay. So, Skip, I noticed you were looking in Agora Hills. If you were looking, what would you be looking for?
Something that was, horse property.
Horse property. Okay. And I'm actually pretty familiar with that. Have you heard of Wood Ranch?
Yes, I know Wood Ranch.
That's great. And I've actually noticed, I've seen a few properties that I think would be great for you to take a look at. Would you mind if I just sent over a few of them just for your knowledge and for you to take a look at?
Certainly, as long as I'm not required to do anything in return, that would be fine.
No, not at all. What's your email?
sdjh@me.com.
Perfect. Okay. And oh, I'm kind of stuck. Now I'm trying to see if I can make an appointment with you, but you're not ready, so I'm trying to see what to do. Let's see. Skip, would you mind? No, sorry. Back up.
It's okay.
I'm trying to see. Would you like to know more information on maybe a future purchase? What's a good time for you? I'd like to just meet with you by Zoom. We don't have to meet in person due to the situation that we're in. Would tomorrow evening be a good time for you? We can just, chat
Sure.
in person?
Sure, it's got to be after 6, though.
After 6? Okay, perfect. Let's do this. I'm going to send you, I have your email. I'm going to send over a link. And at 6 o'clock, if you can just log in and click on that link, we can start the meeting. And what I'm going to do is just give you information, very important information that will get you ready for when the time comes. How does that sound?
That sounds good. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, wonderful. Well, I look forward to chatting with you. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Okay. It was decent. He wasn't ready,
Well, what'd you think, Skip?
Yeah, I think she did well. I mean, she didn't take any time between responding, and I wasn't a nice buyer, obviously.
Well, you're trying to be realistic, and I did think that she handled the objections pretty well. I liked your tone, Lesli. I liked your speed. It's night and day from when I remember us practicing when you first started out, and that's also to share with you too, Skip. It just takes some time and some practice, but I mean, Lesli, you've advanced quite a bit in terms of your ability to deal with those objections and not make it sound uncomfortable. You never made it sound pushy. It was a very natural conversation and endearing as well. I would have wanted to stay on the phone with you just in how polite you were, how you just responded. It was just very, it was good. So I wouldn't change a whole lot with it. The one thing that I saw was when you went to saying I'll send you a few properties with the, what was it, the area, Wood Ranch,
Wood Ranch.
right? You could have dug a little deeper there instead of the easy way out. And I'll just bring this up because I've heard it on a few different calls. Easy way is, hey, let me just email you some stuff, right? You can tell they're backing off. You can tell they don't want to commit. You can tell that they don't want to have to do anything right now. So we give them an easy out. And the easy out is, okay, well, let me just email you some stuff. You check it out and then get back to me when you feel like getting back to me, right? That's, we go to that a little too quickly. So instead of saying, hey, I'll email you a few places, have you check it out, one thing you want to say, well, tell me a little bit more about Bridle Path. Does it interest you? You know, what is it about a Bridle Path, or not Bridle, I just brought up Bridle Path, right? What is it about Wood Ranch that interests you? Well, I'm interested in Bridle Path. I've seen some nice horse properties out there. We have horses, right? And get them to start talking about why that interests him. Or tell me a little bit about horses. Why horses are important to you? So once you can start expounding on that, you can start getting some value and creating value, getting a better understanding of what the buyer's situation is or potentially could be. And then just say, hey, you know what? I know it's still early in the process. I know, you know, you're just looking right now, but are you looking for a really good opportunity, you know, out in Bridle Path or out in Wood Ranch? Well, yeah, we're just kind of browsing and seeing, you know, if it looks like a good enough opportunity, okay, well, would you like me to reach out to you if I come across something? Yes, I would. Well, tell me a little bit of what that looks like, right? And again, we're getting back to that needs and wants so that they start opening up with that. Once we got that, now there's a better chance that we can actually set an appointment. If they never tell us what they need and they want, going to the appointment's a little too premature, right? Especially if they've already kind of laid out, hey, I just want to look online. That's fine. You can look online. Keep looking online. We're here for that. But what we have found is when we do meet with our prospective clients, who eventually become our clients, but when we meet with them and we get a really good idea, and a meeting today is a Zoom meeting, right? When we spend a little bit of time and really understand what it is you're looking for, now when I come across a really good opportunity, I can reach out to you and give you a shot of an off-market property or whatever the case is, right? So just a couple ways to kind of pivot. Does that help, Leslie?
It does. Thank you so much for your feedback.
Of course. No, but I mean, it was a great conversation. I think you would have got pretty well with it. You saw kind of where you got stuck just with once you threw out there, hey, I'll send you this stuff. And then you tried to, you know, you want to go back to setting the appointment. So before you say, I'll send it to you, try to get to, well, you know, would you be open to sometime next week or in the next few days? Do you have some time that we could do a Zoom meeting? And, you know, and you can ask, are you purchasing this for yourself? Will it be you and your significant other? If he says it'll be me and my wife, then say, great. Well, is there a time that works for you and your wife? And we can do a Zoom meeting and get a better idea of, you know, what it is you're looking for. And then I can also share with you some of the resources I have access to so that we can try to get you a really good horse property if it becomes available. Does that sound good? You know, so something very low pressure like that.
Okay. That sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. How you doing, Silver?
Good. How about you? I haven't seen you for a while.
I know, long time no see. I was just about to say it, man. Yep. So they just did a role play. Leslie and Skip did a great role play. Skip, you want to try to do another one?
Sure.
Okay, so you're the agent this time. I'll be the prospective buyer. Okay.
Okay. Ring, ring.
It's a little hard to hear you. Can you turn the volume up or get a little closer to the mic?
Yeah, I'll get a little closer.
Yeah,
How
Come on,
about-
Skip. Don't be shy.
Can you hear me now?
It's still a little rough.
You know, give me a minute. Let me grab something to plug into it.
Okay. All right, Silver, you want to do a quick role play or do you want to jump on the calls?
Let's do a role play real quick.
Okay. All right. Leslie, do you want to be the buyer?
Sure.
Okay. So Leslie's your prospect.
Okay. Leslie?
Hi. Hi, Silver.
Don't make it that easy, Leslie.
I'm ready. Oh, I know him. I know that was dumb.
No, it's all good. He's like, I got
keep
this one in the
looking.
bag here. He's
I
gonna set
know.
this appointment.
Hey, that was awesome. you threw me off and made me laugh. And I'm like, oh my.
Nice. I'm ready. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, let's do it. So I'm calling. Ring ring.
Hello?
Leslie.
Yes, this is her.
Good morning, Leslie. This is Silverio Martinez with Century 21. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. Thank you for asking. Leslie, the reason why I call you is because I noticed that you have signed up on our website, a real estate website. And I was just looking for some information to see if you can give me an idea, or just, just basically give me an idea of what you're looking for.
I was actually just looking. I know we have so much leisure time right now with everything that's going on. I just hopped on the computer and wanted to see what prices look like in the area.
Great. Well, that's, it's actually good to be aware of what's out there in the market right now. But the reason, Leslie, the reason why I ask is because being in the real estate business, I come across some really good deals, and properties that are not in the market yet. So give me an idea, what is it that you're looking for?
Sure. I need to make sure our future home is near a good school system. But other than that, I honestly have no idea. Like right now we're renting, but I don't even know if I can afford it right now.
Oh, okay. Well, let's, I see that school is important for you. How many kids do you guys have?
Two.
Two. And are they in elementary? Are they in a junior high school or high school? What are their grades right now?
So they're actually not even in school yet. They're too young.
Okay, so they're young. So we're going to
Right.
start looking for something closer to an elementary school then, for that matter, right?
Right. And the reason we were looking is just to prepare for when they do start to go to school. It'll be in probably the next 3 years.
Perfect. So tell me, what would be the perfect house that you'd be looking for when you're ready?
Okay. Sure. I would like at least 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, or 3 baths would be ideal. Just a nice yard. I want to be able to throw a football with my kids, and a 2-car garage. Yep.
Perfect. Now, would this be your first time buying? Have you bought a house before?
It would be our first time.
Great. Well, let me tell you, there are programs for first-time home buyers that offer, grants or for family that have low income, and maybe something like that can help you. Maybe I can get you in touch with a lender so they can direct you more in detail on what those programs are about. Would you like to talk to a lender?
Sure. I mean, I have a couple of friends that I kind of chatted with already with lending, but it's been a while, so maybe, yeah, sure.
Yeah, no pressure at all. I mean, it's free information, and it might be free money too. So you don't, who want to say no to free money?
Right. Okay. Wait a minute, free money?
All right, let's stop that. Brandon, give us your thought.
All right. Well, like I shared with you, we start with positive first, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. And legitimately, I would have started with that either way. Awesome job. You sound very comfortable. Got a good tone. Great conversation. There was the one spot where I could tell you hesitated on the Do you know which part I'm talking about?
Yep.
Which one?
Yeah. No, I know what part you're talking about. Yeah,
Which
I
part?
felt it too.
What was it? What was the words that the hesitation? And I already know, and this is the only constructive feedback that I have. Which part do you remember the hesitation?
When I was talking, it was the second part. It was when I say, "Hey, the reason why I ask is because I
That
come."
was all good. All that was good. You were solid on that. Yeah, it could be a little quicker at
Okay.
certain spots, but I still thought that was awesome. The part that you got to be careful with is saying low income, right? Try to
Oh,
find a better way to. We used to practice it all the time working for VCCDC. So you just people can take offense to low income.
true that.
You can get into some of the details. Say, look, not everybody qualifies for it. There's certain qualifying amounts for it, but there are some various first-time homebuyer programs out there with down payment assistance, right? And say, have you heard anything about those programs? So without ever mentioning low income, we don't start with that. Once we get into the qualifications, we let them know, say, hey, look, there's actually there's a few different types. And I always say kind of category A, down payment assistance, and category B. A, you're going to have access to more. You'll actually get forgivable money, but you got to be within a certain box in terms of income. Well, what is that? And then once I start talking about that, then they're like, okay, I make more than that, or okay, I make less than that. Maybe I qualify. Then I start digging deeper, right? So that's kind of my temperature gauge question that I'll throw out there. And then I'm able to see, are they north of 85,000, you know what I mean, household size of 4? And when you're asking about the amount of kids, got to be careful with that too, especially early on. But you had good reason to, because she talked about school. So then just acknowledge it. Don't just say, hey, how many kids do you have, right? It's personal. I don't know you yet, right? You could be a predator for all I know. How'd you get my phone number, right?
Get it.
So just be a little mindful when you're asking about family size kids.
How would
just
you
don't-
say it then?
It's tough. It's a tough question, but I can bring it up if we're talking about first-time homebuyer program. For me, I'll start with that first. Have you purchased a home first? No, this is my first one. Great. Have you heard anything about different first-time homebuyer programs? And I slow it down because I really want them to emphasize and start creating value that I got something that maybe other people haven't talked to them about yet. They say, no, what's that? So, well, I've helped out somebody, and I'll either share a story or I'll say there's forgivable money, right? I'll start hooking them with that, creating the value. And then from that, as they start getting more and more interested, now it's like I got their hopes up. It's not that I want to deflate it, but now it's reality, right? Okay, so now I piqued their interest. Now I got to start kind of digging into that conversation. I'm going to say something like, okay, Severio, let's just run it real quick. Have you purchased a home before, Severio?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't? That's great. So you're a first-time buyer then?
Yes, indeed.
That's awesome. I love helping out first-time buyers. We've actually helped out many with different various first-time home buyer programs. Have you heard of any of the down payment assistance or any first-time home buyer programs that are available right now?
No, I always thought that you had to come up with a down payment all the time.
That's many people think that you need to come up with 20%. And even some of the other more aggressive loans out there with less money, you still need about 3%, which if you're looking at a 500 purchase price, that's still 15,000 plus closing costs, almost 20K, right? So most lenders, that's all you're going to hear about. But I actually work for a nonprofit, and we specialize in first-time homebuyer programs. And we help many people out with as little as 5,000 out of pocket, right? Now I'm not getting into too many details. I'm just saying as little as 5,000 out of pocket, and they bought their first home with a payment at 2,600 a month. So there's some awesome programs out there that many people aren't aware of. Would that be something that interests you?
The other thing that I just thought about it right now is instead of asking how many kids you have, I think it'd be easier to say what school are we looking for? Are you guys looking for elementary school, a junior high, or high school? Which one will fit? Because that way it's more like a broad. I'm not really asking the question how many kids you have, what their ages are. I'm just saying, do you need to be closer to an elementary school? Yep. And they say yes. They don't have to tell me how many kids they have. They don't have to tell me anything else. They're just like, yeah.
And so you can get to household size, and that's where I was starting to get to. But what I try to do is I try to give as much candy as what I call it, right? I try to give as much where it's like, okay, I piqued their interest. There's something that I know about. And I know you've heard it on a few calls when I talked about the down payment assistance, where it's like, bing, all of a sudden I got their attention. They weren't hearing anything until I started talking about some money that may become available to them, right?
Yeah, they were interested on that. Now they're listening.
Right. So now that I got them to listen, now I can crack that egg open. I don't just talk. I give a little bit, then I ask them a question. I give a little bit, and then I ask them a question. And I start cracking that egg open. I start getting them to share with me what their situation is. Do they have down payment? Do they have good jobs? Do they have good credit? What is their household size, right? And that's what I'll share. So there's a qualifying amount. So a household size of 4 can make about $85,000 a year. I never have to say low income. All I have to say is the qualifying limit is under 85 a year. Are you north of that, or where are you at in terms of that? Oh, we're under that. Or, oh, we could qualify then. Well, that's great. Well, would you be interested in finding out a little bit more about that? Yes, I would. So now if I can, set the appointment up, right? From there, once I got them, once I got their interest, let's set that appointment up and try to set a Zoom call up. I'll tell you more about that. But, I know you're busy. You're at work right now, right? What time works best for you and your spouse? Or what time works best for you? Friday at 4 o'clock. Great. I'll put you in for that. I'm going to send you a Zoom invite. So that's my appointment set. So if you notice, I didn't just give them the lending information. I didn't just give them, hand them off to somebody else. I'm still the point of contact. I'm still setting my appointment up. And then now, not only are we going to talk about down payment assistance, if you'd like, I'd even teach you about the process of purchasing a home, what you got to do to get prepared, what to expect in terms of the process, talk a little bit about the market. More importantly, get an idea of what you're looking for. Does that sound good? Now I'm creating value. Now when I set that appointment, there's a higher likelihood they're going to show up to it because I've sold it, right? You got to sell the appointment, not just set the appointment. You got to sell that appointment so that they actually show up to it. So there's a difference from setting appointments and setting appointments that actually keep their commitments. Two different things. So I just want to emphasize that as we're practicing that. Does that all make sense? Any questions? Skip, Leslie, Silver, anybody?
No, that's good.
Cool.
I guess I do have just 2 things.
Yep.
I think there was a moment I was going to open up. I was going to start telling you even more beyond of what you asked. But I think you asked me another question too. So it was just, I guess like Brendan said, just listening. Ask a question and listen. But
yeah.
But overall, Silverio, I have the same situation going sometimes. So it's just a little feedback that I thought would help you.
I would love it. It's great. That's why we're here. So we can criticize each other, constructive criticism. We're not over here to, destroy each other.
No, not at all.
But just to build each other better, because you see me or you hear my questions and everything, and with the experience that you have, you're like, okay, I experienced that, but I can feel. Tell me how you feel, and that will make me reconsider the way I ask the questions or the way I make the call or stuff like that. So no. By all means, please always feel free to say, whatever's in your mind. That's why we're here.
Likewise. And Silverio, you speak Spanish, right?
Claro que sí.
We're going to have to role play in Spanish one of these days.
You know what? It's a good idea because I want to master these phone calls, these first 3 steps in Espanol. So when we talk to people in Espanol, it's the same concept. It's the same thing.
Right.
Now you got somebody who will want to listen to you when you're doing it in Spanish, bro. I was like, turn your volume down, man. Me and Anita are checked out. We don't know what's going on in this conversation. Now Leslie's gonna be like, bing, all right, turn it up. You know what I mean? So we'll record it now.
And she will be able to criticize too, which is important because I can do the same thing with her. She makes a phone call with a Latino, and then she connects, and then they start talking. I can bring that up to, so you guys can understand.
Absolutely. And I wanted to commend something both on Leslie and Silver, but more importantly with Silver. I was listening to Earl Nightingale It's called The Essence of Success. It's one of the books Mike Ferry recommended after Think and Grow Rich. He said Essence of Success is the next book that he's like, is it, that you got to read over and over and over. And one of the very first concepts in there is about what is the most important quality in a person to be successful. What would you guess is that? I mean, there's all kinds of answers, but there's one word that is the most important word really to determine somebody's success or failure. What would you say that word is?
Vision?
Vision?
No,
No,
I don't think it's
vision's a good answer. And I know, Severo, you mentioned some answers on a previous call, but this one's a different answer. What would you guess is that one word that determines whether somebody is successful or not successful?
knowing that they're not always right. Something like that.
That's actually very close to it. That was really good, Leslie. What would you say, Silver?
Determination.
I knew that was going to be your answer, because that's what you were sharing before. And determination is obviously an important quality to success. The word that Earl talks about that I didn't know, I thought it was going to be love, faith, something of that. It was attitude. Attitude determines whether you are successful or you fail. Having a good attitude is a positive attitude, somebody who's open-minded, somebody who doesn't think they got it all figured out. So what you said, Leslie, willing to improve, willing to grow, willing to do whatever it takes, determination. It all starts in attitude. You always hear that person's got a bad attitude, right? They're typically pessimistic, they're negative, they're closed off, they think they got it all figured out. That's a negative attitude. Positive attitude is somebody who's humble, who's willing to take constructive criticism, who's willing to grow, who's willing to do what it takes. And because when I hear you, Silverio, say the things that you say to Leslie, not only is it encouraging for the group, it's good for Skip, it's good for me, it's good for Leslie, it's good for the group, because it shows humility, it shows a willingness to learn and to become your very best. And those are the things that we need as a group to truly become, like I put Ventura County's finest. I set that up. That's not to mock, that's not to do anything or to act like we're better than anybody else. That's what we're striving for, right? We want to be the best. Finest is refined. Refined is through practicing, it's through discipline, it's through commitment, it's through loyalty, it's through trust, it's through all those qualities on top of having the right attitude for success. And there's no reason why each person that's on here can't master this and make a lot of money through this. And it's, I'm not going to lie, it was nice with Anissa's closing just recently to have a nice little check that came in. And there should be many of those checks going all around to every single person that's on this call. You know what I mean? So the more that I can help us get there, man, believe me, man, this is a big piece of hitting the goals that I want to hit, just for each of you, for myself, for what I want to do with our family. But I wanted to acknowledge that with Severio, because, I hope you all see that same level of commitment, and I see it in you, but I have to point it out in Silver, because you're doing it, even though we joke around, bust each other all the time. On a serious note, proud of you and what you're doing. And just so you know, I share that with my dad as well. And I'm like, dude, Silver's stepping up. You know what I mean? Like I've been very impressed with how he's handled his game. So just wanted to share that and give him a quick shout out, since I put him down all the time.
Hey, like I said this morning, I'm used to it.
I know you're used to it, man.
But it's okay. It makes me better.
Yeah. The put downs make you better.
Yeah.
It's usually, if you notice, Silver,
it made me tougher. I can take anything.
Oh, I know you can. My whole motto is, hey, if you're gonna dish it, you got to be able to take it, man. So I usually don't get fired up until you start going, and then your buddy who I had to defriend on Facebook, what's his name? We're talking too much on an outside level. What's his name? Your boy that was at your barbecue.
Gino Manana.
Gino's always talking smack, man. I'm like,
he is.
I gotta take you off of this, man. I'm here trying to do positive in the world. You just gotta try to put down on everything, man.
I know.
Hey guys, hey, you are who you hang with, Silver. You need to refine that group. Is all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I got a bunch of different friends. He's
a good dude. I'm messing.
I don't disregard. I don't discard friends just because their attitude or whatever. No, we're still cool, but the people that I hang out with, literally, are the people that I want to spend my time hanging out with, like, with you, for example. Yeah, dude, let's go grab a beer, let's smoke a cigar, or whatever. It's positive, and that's
For sure.
one time, somebody asked me, because all these realtors events that they have with VCCAR, hey, are you gonna go, blah blah? And like, no, I'm not gonna go. I'm like, why? You don't like to hang out with us or what? I say, tell you the truth, I don't like to hang out with realtors. I was honest. I say, you know what? I hang out with certain realtors that I think they're cool.
Yeah.
If you're not what I think, you are, it just, why would I want to waste my time hanging out with other realtors?
You sound like my dad, man. No, he just.
No,
my mom will she wants to join, different things. My dad's like, nah. He's like, come on, I deal with it enough, you know what I mean, with these transactions. He's like, I got no business being there. So I feel bad for her because she'll only do it if he does it, but she's
Right.
the one that wants to go out and have fun, and he's just like, nah, rather not. Rather not do it. But
I still have fun.
I'm busting on Gino, and I'm sure you've seen some of our interaction when you put some. I can't hold back, man, and that's my flaw that I got to work on. It's like, man, don't come on my page, start spreading this crap. You know what I mean?
I don't even comment on any of his stuff or like or dislike or whatever. Nothing. I just see it. I'm like,
right? You don't engage.
No, I'm not gonna get into it.
I know, and I need to be better about that. But there's just something in me. Just like you start poking your jabs, it's like, all right, be ready, Silver. I got some coming. I got a few of them. So on a positive note, let's hop on these calls now.
Let's do it.
It's already 11 o'clock. I sent some to each of you. Let me get a couple more out right now. There's some kind of funky ones, man. It just looks like letters being typed in. So on these, just don't even say anything in terms of the name. Just, just say, hi, this is so-and-so, and just you registered on my website. So I know, Skip, you've asked about that in the past if you can't pronounce a name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few of them. It looks like they just type the letters in, but it looks like a valid phone number, and they're looking at high-end properties, so it's worth calling them. As long as you got a live number. Hey, when my dad started in the business, he was going through yellow pages. That's how he did his cold calling, and he actually pulled a listing after the fourth call, and he was like, oh yeah, every 4 calls I'll get a listing. It was about another 100+ calls after that 4th one. And he would come out of the bedroom just so upset, man. Just like, I just remember that, he was committed to figuring it out, but people calling him all kinds of names in the book, It's pretty rough. Ours isn't that brutal. Okay, you guys gonna start dialing them up?
Yep.
I'm gonna make some calls. What's that, Leslie?
In about 20 minutes, I'll have to head out. But
okay.
So don't be surprised if I just leave the meeting. But
okay.
I'm gonna do all the calls I need to do.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And then if you can, when you do connect with somebody, since we can't see you or Skip, you guys, there's a reactions thing, right? Where you can do a thumbs up or a clap.
Oh.
Just
So I
click
don't
on that.
see that on mine right now.
It's on the bottom scroll where it shows like share screen.
Chat.
Yep.
There we go.
You can do chat or the reactions and just do like this, watch, with a thumbs up, and then we'll know that you connected with somebody. And then the rest of us will mute, okay? So that we're not calling people and talking to somebody else and then you're hearing background while you're trying to, we don't want to sound like a call center.
And we also want to hear you talking so we can analyze your call too. So
try to put it on speaker if you can. So I'm going to make some calls and I'm going to talk about the home buyer workshop as you guys call these. Okay.
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 Please leave your message for 8186.
This is the client that I'm also trying to get to list his place.
brother.
No problem, Abby.
Yeah, that's gonna be the one you got because you got that Yanmar engine in it. So the 800 650. Let me give you a quote for that particular one. Shouldn't be too bad. 13 bucks. 1303, I believe it was. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. All right, sorry about that, Brendan.
All good, Abby. I appreciate you taking the call at work. Do you got a few minutes?
A little bit, yeah. I think I can spare some a little bit of time between.
Okay.
So far, I thought I missed your call yesterday. I saw that last night.
No worries. All good. Were you able to listen to the voicemail?
Actually, no, I didn't.
No problem, man. Hey, just real quick then. So a couple things. So I saw that you registered for the workshop through the calendar, but you also have to fill out the registration form in order to get the login and the password. So just when you get a chance, I think I texted to you. I can text it again, but yeah, just so that was just a real quick note on that. Okay.
Okay.
And then second thing, did you get a chance to speak to your wife just about what we talked about? And actually something of all things just happened a couple days ago. So I want to bring that to your attention, but I wanted to ask you first how that conversation went with Beth about trying to.
We did speak of it. So right now we're trying to budget more or less what we're going to be able to do and where we want to be at.
Okay.
Obviously we got a few expenses that we want to, that we have to endure, I should say. But we're trying to budget out and see more or less if it's going to be doable or whatnot, or what, what our foreseeable future looks like.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. I appreciate that upfront, being upfront about it. And I don't want you to ever feel I'm trying to get you to do something sooner than later. As I talked about, just like being your advisor, I'm kicking myself right now with my other clients. So I'm going to share with you real quick what happened. We had their house listed at 540. Right? And that's about 15 higher than the last sale, which we're stretching it, but they need as much as they can to purchase their next property, which they were in escrow at 700K. Something happened to his job with the whole stay-at-home order. It goes on hold. We put everything on hold. Two things happen. One, they find another buyer, so that cancels. Two, the worst part is another property in their complex, which there was nothing in Thousand Oaks under 550. We were going to be able to stretch it an extra 15K, which was a stretch. But now, because this all has been delayed and we waited and we waited and we waited until his job got more secure, which he's just starting to get back to work part-time. But Jason, who's also working with him, already told him, hey, you're ready to go, but we're still holding out. And then a property hits in the same complex at 509. We were trying to get 540. He just lost $30,000 in that property.
Okay.
So that's my concern. Does that make sense? So yeah, so we need to be careful. I mean, we can wait until we get everything dialed in perfectly. If you're in position where you can qualify now, which we already know there's some properties out there. If you see some opportunities, if you're open to it, let's get closer to taking some action and getting things moving, because I don't want this to happen. And most importantly, on the listing side, I can give you time on the buying side. We can do a rent back. We got options of what we can do. And my last client, Jim Penny, who just sold his property in offshore, timed it perfectly. He listed his house, and we've been trying to list it for almost 8 months. And he kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and it actually worked out for him perfectly. But if he doesn't sell it in January or February, COVID-19 hits, stay-at-home order hits, everything changes. So if I wasn't like on him basically and say, hey, bud, properties are moving right now. We need to move this now. We need to make this happen. Then he misses the boat, doesn't get top dollar. He got $20,000 more than what he should have gotten. He wanted 550, he got 570. He made an extra 20K. Then on top of that, we did a rent back situation. So he had an additional 45 days after we closed. So meaning he was able to get all the cash in his pocket, then have an additional 45 days. They're still in their house right now, but they've already closed on their home in Arizona. So I have to share that with you because I don't want this to cost us. Because my other clients right now, I don't know if they're going to be able to sell and buy. And she's already said she doesn't want to be stuck there for the next 10, 14 years. That's her biggest fear. but they were also playing it too cautious. So I just have to share that with you so that you can share that with Beth. And I think if you're open to it, let's set up a time next week and just touch base and see what the next plan of action is. But I think we need to have a talk, with Jason, get the numbers figured out, and go from there.
Okay. All right. I'll touch base with her again. I'll let her know.
Okay.
We'll see if it all works out. And if either sooner than later, it might be probably the best thing to do.
Right.
Again, we just, like I said, we're trying to budget it and make sure everything's up. Obviously, I've lost some hours myself because of it.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm getting sent back, but I'm trying to make sure that there's no issue in between.
Absolutely.
So that's our worry as well, because yes, we are considered essential, but obviously the company has endured some losses as well. So
right.
As long as there's no personnel loss, we should be okay. But at that point, it's in the air still. So
yeah, well, thank you for sharing that, and that's something very important to make sure that you speak with Jason about too, because that changes your qualification potential as well, which may make us have to wait a few more weeks before we can get you going, at least on the purchasing side. On the listing side, that's another story. And just trust me when I say I can control that and make sure that you have plenty of time for your hours to get back to where you need it to get to. So I do see things improving just in what I'm watching in terms of the news and the regulations of what's happening. I think you're going to see more and more of us going back to work, which is going to help you out as well, even though you're essential. You know what I mean? In terms of the things picking up again and people spending money and getting back to it. But again, nobody has a crystal ball, but all I can do is just advise you, because I don't want it to cost you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 by me just saying, oh yeah, let's just take our time. Let's wait. Let's kind of see what happens. It may potentially jeopardize the only opportunity for my other client to purchase and sell now. So to be honest, I'm kicking myself that I wasn't a little bit more pushy on my part, because not that, I respected their decision. I gave them their space. But now they're both pissed because that other property came on at 509 and they want 540 for a model match. And that other one has granite and they don't. So it's, how are they going to get that extra $30,000? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not going to happen. No buyer in their right mind is going to spend that. And right now you have a closing at 325. That's an upstairs unit, and yours is a downstairs unit with washer dryer. And the other one was clean. I'm not going to knock that it wasn't. So they got top dollar at 325, but you should be right around that 325, even without fixing your bathrooms up. Now, yes, if you're able to fix the bathrooms, great, but I wouldn't make that a condition to sell. And what we could even try to do is we could try to list it for a week, see what the response is, then put it on hold if we're not getting the type of activity that we want. And a week may be too short. It may need to be about 2 weeks, but I want to limit your days on market. So if we put it on hold after a week, it'll just show 7 days. Then you can fix the bathrooms, and then you've exposed it out on the market so people know that you're thinking about selling. And then, when we flip it back after the bathrooms get fixed, the property's improved and you keep it at the same price. And then, you can draw some more activity that way too. So it's not a all in, has to be a one-shot situation. There's ways that we can be creative to still take care of what we need to take care of, and more importantly, just protect your best interest. But thank you for bringing up on the hours. How big of a hit has it been?
Well, so far, over a month course, I mean, you can say grossly probably cut down about close to 1,000, which is quite significant. Close to
1,000 off a month?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's big, man. So
yeah, so it hurts. It hurts, no doubtly. I mean, we do have some savings and stuff like that, so we're okay, or no big deal. But obviously, if it continues, then it can definitely hurt us.
I don't know if you can apply for it or not, but there may be some partial unemployment that you could qualify for. I don't know if it's.
Yeah, a couple buddies of ours from what they tell me about it too. Is that like they qualified, so but their hours got cut even more.
Right.
It varies by locations, and here there's only 2 of us. They pretty much just cut our OT hours.
Okay.
But we're working our 40 hours. Only on other locations they cut their OT and a couple couple of days off of work, so it pretty much hurt them half their check,
Right.
which really hurts them. And they were able to get in and qualified, and obviously get the extra stimulus, I guess you can say.
Right.
But for now, he was telling me, hey, try it. If it works, I mean, then you kind of get by and you recover. But if it doesn't, I told him, well, I'm gonna hit it and try it, but
Yeah, definitely do it. Do it ASAP. I would do it just to protect yourself. And a worst case scenario, even if you qualify for it and then they pick up your hours again, you may never see a payment. But if that doesn't happen, then at least you know that you got that money coming in. So yeah, just be careful with that. And then also the forbearance option, be careful with that, especially as you're trying to look at potentially purchasing. I know you haven't mentioned that, but I know a lot of people are looking the forbearance route. Have you looked into that, or were you considering that?
What do you mean with the forbearance?
Forbearance is where some people are trying to make it where they're not paying their mortgage payments.
Oh,
But
no.
yeah,
No,
but
I'm not looking into that at all.
Yeah.
No, I'm making
good. Stay that route, especially as you try to purchase, because some won't be able to refi, some won't be able to purchase. Just keep making. That's the one thing that you want to protect.
Yeah, no, I'm not putting any of that in jeopardy. Like I said, we've been able to kind of save a decent amount so we can have as an emergency fund. And
Cool.
obviously we're not, thank God we haven't even touched it yet, even with the cut hours. So we've been okay, but even
Good.
at that, if it continues, then yes, it can hurt us. But I don't plan on using or going into no forbearance or anything like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, man. Well, hey, I don't want to take up any more of your time at work, but thank you for taking the call. Know that I'm here for you if you need anything. And that, our friendship's more important than anything. So you need anything, you let me know. I just want to make sure I protect you in the process. And like I said, man, that kind of hit hard for our other close friends that, hopefully things will still work out for them, but it's just, it's looking pretty grim right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so I'll definitely have that talk with her and let her know.
Yeah.
Obviously, hopefully, everything kind of starts to turn around sooner than later.
Yep.
But either way, depends on what it is we do and how we do. But hopefully we can make it happen.
Absolutely. And I would, before you even have the talk with Beth, I would actually try to call Jason if you get a chance. Let him know about your hours being hit and seeing how that impacts your qualification. And Jason's straight to the point. So he'll tell you, hey, man, we can't do anything. You know what I mean? And if he says that, then that's where we're at. But I would talk to him first, get the numbers figured out, and then from there, then have the conversation with Beth. If he says, hey, you're still good to go right now, you can still make it work, then you do it. But more than likely, this has been the biggest disqualifier is the reduction in hours. That's the biggest thing that has impacted people's ability to purchase. So it's not the end of the world if you're not ready right now. We just need to find out from him, based on the underwriter requirements, how long do we need to wait before we can get you to where you're good again? And then once we know that, if it's 3 weeks, a month, 2 months out from now, then we can plan accordingly. And then maybe you do figure out, okay, maybe we do want to look into fixing up the bathrooms because it's going to be 2 months out. But again, if you're watching your money right now, be careful with that. Now, if you approve for that EDD through EDD and you get some unemployment assistance, now maybe you got a little bit of extra money, you can feel comfortable, you know what I mean, with doing that. But just be careful and don't hesitate, whether it's real estate or something like that. I've done research myself for our situation. So I may be able to point you in the right direction there.
Okay, cool. That works.
All right, Abby. Hey, you have a blessed day, and when you get a chance to register, please do that so that we got you on there, because it's capped at 100. So and we're doing a lot of boosting and advertising. I just want to make sure you guys got your seats reserved.
Okay, cool. That'll work.
All right, Abby. Have a blessed day, man.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Perfect. That was good.
Yeah, that didn't go the way I was expecting it to go, but there's still hopefully some good things to pull out of that.
Right.
Sucks. Yep, man.
So,
Dude, it's
Brendan,
falling apart left and right, Silver. It's just, I'm dying at the vine here, man. It's like, dude, come on. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 transactions, bro. All out the window right now. 7, dude.
Yeah.
It's just like,
because of the income, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's got you muted, brother.
You can hear me though, right?
Yep. What were you saying?
I was saying that, that guy, last time you talked to him, he was like very excited about moving forward and let's start, thinking about putting the house on the market. We're going to be looking for these, whatever, and all the stuff. And now it's like, well, I got my hours reduced and I know what's going to happen. Jason's going to go, well,
Can't do anything.
bye.
Yep. I know. That's going to kill everything right now. But the good thing is I know that I did what I was supposed to do. I gave him the heads up. So if whatever happens in the market and he could have capitalized on it right now, it wasn't because I didn't say anything to him. I gave him the information he needed. Then he gave me the information I needed to hear to know it's okay, I need to pump my brakes. So I should have started off with questions, but I went in for the sale before I went in for asking to find out what the hesitation was. So I thought it's like, okay, I'm not seeing enough movement right now, so I need to sell this and be like, look, this is what just happened right here. I don't want it to happen to you. Let's get it done. You know what I mean? Let's stop trying to, I know you want to do the bathrooms for $6K. The bathrooms do need to be done. It's all original. It's linoleum, but they're trying to sell it $325 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Port Hueneme, $450 HOA. It'll move. You know what I'm saying? Single story. They got the shared garage. They got the high HOA. It's the Sandpiper Village, but their place is clean, and I already got the virtual tour for it. I haven't advertised or done anything with it because I need his permission, but I can't do it in good faith until I know that his hours increase and Jason can qualify him, because we're going to be just like dragging our feet, and buyers are going to want to move on our property, and there's nothing we can do. You know what I mean? Not in good faith, unless we can stretch it out on a 60, 90-day escrow or something crazy like that, which could be a possibility, but it just sucks, dude. It's happening more than it should be. So
yeah, I know.
It makes it tough.
Yeah.
Hey, but when these things all do work out, bro, it's gonna be like boom, it's gonna get crazy.
Everywhere.
I just hope you guys are ready to work, is all I'm saying, because there's no way I can't be at 10 different open houses on one weekend. So
Oh, I'm ready.
I know you're Leslie.
Oh, you think I'm not?
I don't know. I just, we're recording this right now, so I'm gonna keep it rated PG.
Whatever.
No, but no, good things happening. Did you try to make any calls, or were you just listening to that one?
I made some phone calls. I didn't catch anybody.
Okay. Well, let's just reconnect on Monday. We got plenty of leads, plenty of calls, and we'll have plenty on Monday too. Unless you guys want to make a couple more calls, but I know we got to keep it moving. So
no, I'll do some more phone calls later this afternoon.
Cool. Sounds good, man.
Maybe hit the same people that didn't pick up right now.
Exactly. And again, promote that home buyer workshop, man. It's a good little piece. It's a value thing, and then eventually do your own thing. But you'll see how my dad does the class. He actually like some of the questions that come up is, how do I hire an agent? And because he had to do it as a financial advisor out in for Fleet and Family Services on base. He wasn't allowed to. He was like, it's like having ice cream in front of you, but you can't lick it, and it's just melting all over your hand. And there's nothing you can do. He's like, people coming up to me like, will you represent me? I want you to be my broker. He wasn't allowed to represent anybody there. So he still teaches the class like that. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, okay, these are the questions you want to ask an agent. These are the qualities you want to look for in an agent. So it's in a actually the way that it's supposed to be done at VCCDC is in a similar fashion, where you're not there to solicit yourself. You're there to educate, empower everybody. So, I'm just sharing all that because you can feel comfortable advertising it or doing it. And it's the first one we're doing in a while. First one we're doing virtual. So we'll see how it goes, but it'll keep getting better. And it'll probably be something we do on an ongoing thing, likely once a month or at least once a quarter. So it'll be something to keep pushing and promoting. And if it works out well, you never know, this thing could catch on,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you, Brendan. This was super helpful.
Cool. No problem. Thank you for hopping on, Leslie. And you guys have a good day.
All right. You too, buddy.
All right. We'll see
Bye,
you later.
Leslie.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Solario.